All right, hello there again. If you are tuning in, just continuing for my own amusement to go through some of my collections. We're going to go with the jewel case PC games now. Took a look at the big box games on the top shelf. I'm going to kind of rapid fire through these. There's quite a few cases, and it'll be a bit of a process of discovery for both of us here because I know most of this stuff, but a lot of it is from a big box of childhood games that I got from my parents' house and a couple random PC game lots that I bought on Facebook Marketplace at one point, and some leftovers from a friend that didn't want PC games sitting around that he couldn't use anymore. So kind of a random mishmash of stuff. So let's just take a look and see what I've got. There might be some stuff in here that I don't even know what it is or where it came from. So it should be fun. First game, I definitely know where it came from. It's called Deer Avenger. Not sure who might remember, but Deer Hunter was a popular game back in the late 90s. It was actually the first PC game we ever owned at my house on the PC that my parents bought in the late 90s. Deer Avenger was kind of a joke mocking that franchise. It was just silly, crude humor. If you're looking for kind of an immature laugh, I don't think it's a very good game. It's more just to get a chuckle out of you. Looks like I'm missing the disc, which is unfortunate, but I do remember playing this and thinking it was pretty funny, especially at the age that I was at when I played it. I wouldn't recommend picking it up, but if you happen across it, it's pretty silly. Moving on, that's what I'm pretty stoked about. I think I bought this actually independently. Oh no, this was actually at one of our childhood games. So this is Math Blaster for first grade. All these like edutainment games from the 90s into the 2000s are just so nostalgic for me. We put in so many hours into these. And they're just a lot of fun. And hey, you're learning at the same time. But yeah, some of my fondest early PC gaming memories are edutainment titles. So we should see a few more of those in here. Here's a real banger here. This is top tier game, Barbie Adventure Riding Club. Barbie riding, looks like you groom and ride horses. This would have been my sister's game. But it was in the box, so now it's on the shelf. I don't think I'll ever play this, but kind of funny to have. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You'll find games like this, kind of like game show games, in the same big PC lots of people selling junk, like the Bejeweled and all the different casino games. I doubt it's particularly good, but it might be interesting to go back and check out some Regis Philbin action. One of the rare ones that I might actually check out at some point. But yeah, those games are kind of a dime a dozen, the different game show and casino games. This one is Monopoly Tycoon. Looks like it is actually in the, oops, focus there. Looks like it is in the Monopoly Tycoon case, but it's missing the cover here. Monopoly Tycoon, probably just capitalizing on the flurry of Tycoon style games coming out at the time. I don't know what you really do in this. Looks like it's a simulation style game. I don't know, but I assume it's akin to playing Monopoly, but with some building and sim elements. I doubt I'll check that out, probably, given the size of the backlog, but Rugrats All Growed Up. Actually, I definitely watched the original Rugrats, but I never really checked out the All Growed Up series. But this appears to, from the back, be a 2D platforming game. And it is complete in box. This was definitely a childhood game that I think my sister probably checked out, but I never played. Here's a kind of a 2-pack here. Puzzle Mania CD-ROM Club from Highlights. If you remember Highlights magazine, kids magazine in the 90s. That was a lot of fun. Had some fun games in it and kid-related stuff. Sponsors from Nickelodeon and all that, I would assume. But yeah, just kid stuff. I saw these for $2 each. Focus is way off on this. But yeah, $2 each at a Goodwill. And there was a bunch of stuff I was just cleaning out at this Goodwill. Bought whatever I saw that might be relevant. I bought these for my kid, my 5-year-old now. It just has a bunch of, I don't know, edutainment, fun games on them. I'm not even sure exactly what's on them, but should be fun for him to mess around in. He likes all that stuff. This one I definitely remember. This was my mom's game when Titanic was ruling the earth as the biggest movie ever. This is like a point-and-click adventure where you explore kind of a museum almost of the Titanic itself and learn about the Titanic. Looks like a race to alter history. So I think you're going through a scenario on the Titanic, perhaps. But yeah, very cool. I don't remember the exact details of the game, but I remember checking it out just out of curiosity as a kid and not really understanding it. Babies, if you remember these. Babies, there was also dogs and cats, always with the Z at the end. They were initially kind of like almost like pseudo screensavers where they were like interactable, but it turned into full-fledged games. And this babies, you basically take care of babies and play with them with toys and stuff like that. It's fun to mess around in if you're a kid. I don't know that I would enjoy it too much these days, but it's very nostalgic. My sister and I definitely put some hours into this, trying to figure it out when we were little. I guess this is kind of a two-pack here. The Age of Empires 2 and the expansion, The Conquerors. This is the Age of Kings. I don't know that I actually have the discs for these. I don't hear. And I don't hear. But I do actually have ROMs downloaded that are playable on the PC. So these just kind of serve as a physical placeholder in the collection of games that I do have loaded onto the Windows XP retro PC that I built. And they are playable fully on there, so I haven't felt compelled to replace the discs. But if I happen across them in the wild, I'll grab them for a couple bucks and throw them in the case. Here's a game, that an obscure title that I'm sure you haven't heard of. This is called The Sims. Just kidding, everybody's heard of The Sims. This is a Maxis Entertainment classic. Revolutionized things. Definitely took the simulation stuff to a whole new level after SimCity for them. This game exploded in the, I don't know, probably early 2000s. Is that when this came out? Yeah, 1999, 2000. Got the EA games on it. So this game was huge. Spawned a bazillion sequels that made them a gazillion dollars. But The Sims is tons of fun. I'm sure we'll see quite a few redundancies here. This is The Sims Deluxe Edition. So this is The Sims, but comes with a few extras. This is kind of the generic Sims back of the case here. Advertisement for SimCity 4. We got CD1, CD2. Very cool. Sims Deluxe Edition is a great place to start. And The Sims is a classic game where you have to install all the discs in all the right orders and own all the games. And it's a lot of fun, kind of a collect-em-all situation. Here's the Sims 2 case, but if I remember correctly, inside is not the Sims 2. Yeah, this is all my Sims expansions. So Sims House Party, Sims Hot Date. I'm assuming, yeah, on the back here, we have the Sims Vacation. Again, I picked up some random lots at some point, so I'm assuming there's going to be some redundancy and some empty cases, stuff in the wrong spots. Who knows what we might find in this treasure pile here. Here's the Sims Vacation expansion pack with the Sims Vacation. So that's kind of redundant with what we just opened. Sims Unleashed, this is the pets one. Looks like that's disc 1, so I'm assuming, yep, disc 2. Unleashed was fun. You could add pets to The Sims. I'm of the opinion that The Sims 2 is just kind of the objectively better game, but The Sims is still fun, and I'm happy to have so many of the original titles in the collection, even though I don't think they're really worth much. Sims Making Magic, you could do all sorts of fun wizardry stuff, and it looks like this also has Unleashed in it as well. Again, redundancy. But Making Magic was fun. Yeah, just kind of a collect them all in terms of the expansions. Every expansion just adds content to the base game, stuff you can buy and sell and do. Oh, we got a random disc here. What's this surprise? Sims Superstar Disc 2, a trashed CD, in with the Sims Superstar Disc 2 non-trash version. That one's pretty good. So yeah, I guess those just hang out together. Peas in a pod, if you will. Yeah, Superstar is cool. You can be a rock star, I think, and it adds new job titles as well as some new items to buy. Here's SimCity 3000 Unlimited. This one I picked up in a box from somebody on Marketplace. It was $5 for a cardboard box of PC games. And I saw SimCity 3000 Unlimited and a couple other titles that were notable in there. So I definitely scooped that up. 3000 was not the first game, but definitely a sweet one. These games are pretty notorious for being punishing on the CPU, so you will want a decent one if you want to play SimCity games without crazy lag. We've got Roller Coaster Tycoon in the Roller Coaster Tycoon case. Boy, oh boy, did I put a lot of hours into this one. Again, I'm of the opinion that the second game is probably just objectively better, but both are fun, and definitely both are worth playing through. We've got another Roller Coaster Tycoon case, but this one has The Muppets in Manhattan. I don't know if this is the movie. I guess this is a movie. So that's fun. And it even comes with an America Online free trial. What an opportunity. You remember America Online? That was an era for sure with the dial-up. Here's the Loopy Landscapes and Corkscrew Follies expansions. So this is both expansions for the original game. Looks like the disc is in there. Pretty cool. Roller Coaster Tycoon, I can't imagine the number of hours I sank into that as a kid. And here's the second one, Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. Disc is in there, looks clean. This one had like real rides from Six Flags and stuff. Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 is just an absolute gem. These games are so fun. I have some very nostalgic memories of the Tycoon era of PC gaming, because I was a kid at just the right time for that. Here's a bunch of random, like, redundant copies of Zoo Tycoon and the expansions and stuff in their little sleeves that they came in. I think I have, like, 2 copies of the original game and then a copy each of the expansions plus duplicates. I'm not really sure, but I think this one maybe is costing slightly more now, like $15 or something. So happy to have backups in case one gets messed up. Here is 3D Roller Coaster Factory Gold Edition with some early jank 3D. Definitely trying to capitalize on the success of Roller Coaster Tycoon, I would imagine. But yeah. Oh man, look at that. That looks like it was just printed on a printable disc. Can't imagine this is a terribly high quality game, but kind of cool. Might check it out at some point. This is one of a few pretty sick games that I got from the same friend that gave me those big box games in the last video that I did. This is Dungeon Siege, which is an RPG game. Looks like it's got the disc in there, a couple discs, and it's got this pretty sweet slip cover here. I'm a sucker for slip covers and manuals and extra goodies. But yeah, pretty cool. Not really sure how this game plays, but I love RPGs, so I'm excited to check that out. We got Battle Realms. Looks like it's Ubisoft. Early Ubisoft game. Advertisement for Conquest, which I'm not familiar with. I'd assume this is just another RPG title from that same early 2000s era. But yeah, Battle Realms looks cool, so we'll check it out at some point. There's a classic title. Doesn't have the manual, but this is Black and White, which was an early, like, quote-unquote God simulator type game from Lionhead Studios. This is a cool one. Excited to check that out. We got Half-Life Game of the Year Edition. This is the original Half-Life game. And games in there. And it looks like it also includes Team Fortress Classic. This is a Sierra game, back when Sierra was on top of the world. Very cool stuff. Tropico 2, Pirate Cove. I've seen these games advertised, the newer ones, but on Steam, but I've never messed around with them. I'm not really sure what type of game it is. Looks like 2 discs and everything's here, so that's pretty cool. Check that out at some point. We got the classic, the absolute OG, the Oregon Trail, as well as the Amazon Trail, if you're feeling spicy. So I think most people have seen these, but these are fun adventure games where choices matter, and you try and navigate via those choices and good dice rolls to get to the end of the game without succumbing to dysentery, which is always just a fun gaming experience. This one, gee, I don't know what this is. I think this is something that someone bought for me when I was a kid that I just didn't, kind of one of those grit your teeth and say thank you things that I was given, but never actually played because I just didn't know what it was. Looks like you can write, direct, and produce the stories of your life. I really don't know what this is, but kind of amusing. I love just old titles, just checking out what people were making back in that era. Random jank titles are still fun for me. Just something about my personality. We had, as you can see, these random games lying around as a kid. So just kind of exploring what was in them, even if it was only for a little bit, was always a fun process of discovery. Back when PC games were readily available and cheap, and everybody was putting out a title. This looks like it's a Disney's Magic Artist Studio. I think this is like a upgraded, I think like Windows Paint, but on steroids with Disney licensed material in it. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember messing around with that as a kid. So definitely fun. This was actually a fun one, although it had that early like CG 3D where the character models were actually kind of freaky looking. Kind of like 80s animatronics, like Chuck E. Cheese. That was always freaky too. It was meant to be as realistic as possible, I assume, but it ended up just being kind of creepy. Kind of like dystopian, weird. I don't know. You get weird vibes from it, but Invention Studio is actually sick. You have all these components and you can like fasten them together and then test your invention to see what happens. So really fun, like sandboxy style where you can just kind of create whatever you want to create and then just test it out in a number of different ways to see what it does. This was fun to tinker with as a kid. NASCAR Pinball. It's a pinball game with NASCAR licensed stuff on it. Oh, dang, I didn't even notice Sierra put that out. All right, I might take a look at this. I like checking out Sierra games. But yeah, I can't imagine this is a particularly notable title. Let's see what else we got here. Virtual Tech Galactic Whiz Kid. Looks like edutainment, given all the different things it's selling parents that it's going to teach their kids. It's complete in box, so this is a gem here. No idea, but might be interesting to pop into to see what's going on in there at some point. NASCAR Heat. As a kid, I found it so fun in this game, for whatever reason, to boot up a race, drive in the opposite direction, go max speed, and then collide with the person in first place, and just watch the destruction events. I specifically remember doing that as a kid. NASCAR Heat was fun for pretty much only that reason, I think. But still fun. Magic Artist Deluxe. I assume this is just the expansion or something to the artist game we saw earlier, but might be cool to check out. I assume it's just more of the same. Looks like you can put wacky mustaches on pictures of yourself. So this is for when you're feeling a little spicy, getting a little wild. School Tycoon. It'd be cool if you could build schools. I'm not really sure. There was a Tycoon game for everything in this era. This was in that box that I got for $5. Haven't played it, but it actually came with like a little black and white notepad. I forget what they're called, but basically the game manual that explains this is on like a old notepad style that you would have for like your notebook at school. So kind of cool little touch there, but I don't know if you just manage the classrooms or actually build the schools. It'd be sick if you build the schools. Centipede, this is like 3D, the classic Centipede arcade game, but in 3D. It's amusing for a little while. It's not overly invigorating to play, but still fun. And has its own twist on it, if I remember. Looks like Scholastic Clubs and Fairs. I don't know if I got this from like a book fair at school. Maybe as a kid, that'd be cool. Two more jewel case games here. This is the Game of Life. Every board game under the sun, I feel like, had a PC game from Hasbro. And this was no exception to that rule. Game of Life. There was Monopoly, Candyland, and a lot of those I don't have the jewel cases for, but you're going to see them in the binder whenever I get around to checking that out. And last but not least, we got Toy Story 2 Action Game. Now that sounds like it's not low budget at all. I'm assuming it's a 2D platformer because those were cheap to make, licensed with the Disney Toy Story characters. But actually, sometimes these are just unironically fun, almost by accident, because 2D platforming is just fun. So if it's well enough made, this might be worth checking out. And yeah, that's all the jewel case games for the PC that I've got. Some pretty cool stuff there. I'm going to probably take a look at the slightly bigger box titles on the bottom shelf here at some point, as well as the loose discs in the binder. And who knows what I'll do from there. But if you have any interest in that, feel free to check it out. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.